Don't wish
louder
it
would be
was
good.
easier.
That's good.
Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Do your best to get it all. Because I know how meaningful ideas can be. The name Earl Show still rings in my mind. I'm 25 years old. I'm introduced to a man who I had a chance to go to work for. And over the next 5 years, the ideas he shared with me not only made me rich, but gave me the foundation for a long-term career of sharing ideas, building business, making profits, wise investments, made an extraordinary contribution to my life. This unique man, he only went to the 9th grade in school. So the things he shared with me over that 5-year period were very simple, very ABCs. Extraordinary. But that's where I got all of those simple phrases. Do your best to get it all. For things to change for you, you have to change. Wow. What a new revelation. He said, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. What a new revelation. All of this started me on this unique journey of what I now call personal development. You have to change. Here's another one. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. It's not less problems that makes you successful. It's more skills that makes you successful. Do your best to get it all. You have to change. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. I tried to convince him by showing him my paycheck that I wasn't doing well, and I blamed it on the company. And I said, this is all the company pays. He said, no, that's all the company pays you. I thought, well, that's a new way to look at it. He says, doesn't the company pay some people 3, 4, 5 times this amount? And I said, well, yes. He says, well, then this.
I love it. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. It's great to see your faces. Let me be the first to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And I know the Christmas spirit is strong in the Q household. That's great stuff. I got a red shirt on. I got red socks on. I'm fired up to have everybody here. And God bless you. I hope everything's going well for everybody. And let's just see if we can't have a great time. I always like the Jim Rohn thing. This morning I did the 18-minute and one other. And I just think the Jim Rohn thing's a good reset right now. It's the end of maybe your work day. Maybe you've done some calls. Maybe you've done some Zooms. Maybe you've done some whatever is on your plate, dinner, dishes, whatever. Just reset. Do your best to get it all. Doesn't that just sound amazing from the voice of Jim Rohn? Do your best to get it all. So how's everybody doing? Anybody want to say hello, good evening, happy holidays, Merry Christmas? I see one Christmas tree, 2 presents.
Good. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Christmas.
Good to see you all. Fantastic. I think we'll get a few other people joining us in a little bit. Some have other functions going on, and I couldn't be more excited than having you all here. We have a very special show. I tried to approach it from the standpoint of what's inspiring, and I was thinking about a golfer. So I'm going to share this story with you about a man from Fiji, and he grew up dirt poor, had nothing. And all he did was play golf. He just loved, loved, loved golf. And if he couldn't be on the golf course, he was on the driving range. And there's this phrase in golf that is called digging it out of the dirt. And I remember this gentleman after he reached number 1 in the world. And he had gone onto the range one day to practice. And this other very accomplished golfer said to him, you know, what is it? Why are you always in the dirt? You're always trying to practice and practice. You practice more than anybody else. And he tried to help this other individual that had won major championships as well understand that you never know when you open yourself up to practice how all of that preparation is going to all of a sudden pay off in that 1 week. And of course, most of you know that a golfer can have a great tournament once a year and make millions of dollars. you and I, as independent business people, we can just keep giving it our all, doing our best to get it all, doing the 18 minutes, doing the work, doing the deep work, as we talked about in newsletter number 2, I think it was, as we look at the all 7 of the newsletters stacked up right here. But I just want everybody to know it's December, what, 18th. It's 6:03 p.m. We're winding down a year. It seems funny, like I had a gentleman reach out to me from southwestern Michigan just an hour ago. And this individual just had a bad car accident. Hadn't talked to him in a couple of years. And he reached out to me. All of a sudden, I just said, remind me where you're at. And I said, how are you? And he sent me a picture of his car wreck and his knee all messed up. And he just says, I'm ready for 2025 to be over. It seems like I've run into people that said, I'm ready for 2025 to be over. I'm saying, let's not finish yet. I'm saying, let's make sure that we can capture the moment. Remember that very first newsletter when I wrote on the very cover of the gratitude newsletter, don't miss the moment. And I think that that's good. That's good wisdom and inspiration for me to not miss the moment. So let's open it up to you, and let's look at this first slide for just a minute, and let's just say, what wins are we looking at for 2025? If you had a tough 2025, try to look at the paradigm. Let's look at this for just a minute here and say, what wins did we have on this next slide? And let's figure out what's something you could accomplish between now and the end of the year. What's something you've accomplished this year? If we can move it to the next slide there, you'll see word wins for 2025. I titled this letter, Words Create Worlds, and I can't wait to tell you about this most unique word that I did not put in the newsletter because I wanted to share it with you on the day I discovered it. So let's turn it over to you. Wins today, this week, this month, this year. Who wants to share?
Hey, Dan, I will.
Please.
I think my biggest win is I made a decision.
Mhm. Boy, that's powerful.
And, as you know, Dan, for probably, 2, 3 years, I've been really, just kind of taking it easy not really taking it easy, not doing much in my business. And yet I didn't want to leave. And so I just, really worked hard at helping me get to a place of making what I think is the best decision I made this year. And that's really to, go on another run and really practice balance, because I know my personality, and I don't want to give up what I think is a pretty darn perfect life. And so I'm willing to give up some of that, but I really did make a decision that I am limitless.
Oh, wow. Okay. I typed in, I made a decision for you in chat. Someone else can type in, I am limitless. I love that. Obviously, that movie was inspiring too. It was kind of weird, but it was kind of fun. Who else wants to take a shot at 2025?
I will, Dan.
Please, Deanne.
I think for me, it has been, and it's really just been in the last couple of months, clarity of what I really want to accomplish in 2026.
I love that. So let's try to get those, keep them going in there, Shar. That's awesome. Let's see how many we can get. I am clear. I have gained clarity. So who else wants to take a shot at 2026? Q, go ahead.
I am alive.
Yes, you are. That heart's still ticking. I saw you in the hospital, brother. You're looking great. Did you get a bike ride in this week?
Not outside.
Not outside. Yeah, it's been chilly. Utah. Who else? Anybody else? Don't be shy if you can feel it. Go ahead, Tanya.
I am consistent. I just
Yeah.
feel like I just need to have consistency in my life all the time. So that's what I try to do, is just remain consistent. Even when you have those down times, you just get back on and you just you stay consistent.
Yeah. Powerful.
I would say I am overcoming, because I've had a lot of things to overcome this year, and
There we go.
including yesterday.
And isn't that interesting that Covey talked about that in the world that we all live in, we have a public life. All of you know me publicly. Maybe some of you know me privately. And then we have a public life, a private life, and a secret life. And so all of us probably have things that we would look back on 2026 and we say, I am becoming better at such and such a thing, right? And so we can paradigm, we can rephrase, we can look at how can we get ready for 2026. And hopefully I'll share some things and we'll have a lot of slides and we'll have perhaps a real bonus at the end here tonight that we've never done before. It's going to be really, really unique and fun. But I hope that you can really appreciate the moment. Anybody else before we go to that next slide? I want to give you time. No wrong answers.
Come on, Matt.
Okay. I am growing every day, Brenda.
Brenda, thank you, Brenda. We got Cornelius, we got BJ, we got Sherry on no camera. So if you guys want to write anything in the script, in the chat, that is fantastic. We totally appreciate it. We love having you. And I want to go to the next slide. And I want you to look at the Words Create Worlds newsletter that's in your hands, that's in your email box, whatever. There's where we've been. Look at how we started with the gratitude. We went deeper. As a matter of fact, dang it, I just got to grab it. It's right here. I just have to tell you that this was the starter. When we look at Wally Waddles and we read that chapter, I think we sent it in the email follow-up. We sent the entire chapter of gratitude. You can never get beyond where you currently are, okay, until you're grateful what you currently have. It's a tough pill to swallow because of the heartbreak, the setbacks, the paradigms, the comparisons. And I think about this, the molecule of more. We want more. And sometimes it's good just to be grateful for what we have. Then we got into the deep work. Then we got into the future self. David Blackford was so awesome to talk to us about how he wrote his letter. Not sure if David's here tonight. We got into consistency. I think somebody said that here tonight. Tanya did. We got into the health, wealth, and abundance. We did I Am a Visionary last month. We talked about the depth of vision, right? Sight is a function of the eyes. Vision is a function of the heart. And tonight, I want to tell you about this word. I've got it. I've got a very special presentation that I'm going to send to everybody in the follow-up email. And I want to tell you about the day, because the day was February 12th, 2007. The winningest tennis coach in NCAA Division II history is none other than my friend David Porter. David was an exercise sports sciences professor at Brigham Young University, Hawaii. And my daughter was there to play on the basketball team when her knee was bothering her. Her husband had her new boyfriend that she just met. I remember the phone call. Dad, what should I be looking at in this guy? He does this, he does that. He's conscious and thoughtful. I said, sounds to me like you found your guy, Chris. This is my oldest daughter. And she said, Dad, I just listened to a message that is going to blow your mind. This was a word shattering day for me that I had never heard of. February 12th, 2007. She's walking out of the gym with 3,000 students listening to David, who's an expert in Greek mythology. And he gave an entire talk that was a masterclass in the Greek word. If we can go to the next slide. I think I may have jumped a slide. I apologize for that, but we're going to go jump one slide here because I tried to stack I am affirmations in here so you can kind of see the way I look at stacking. It's in the book. You guys all have the book. You know about stacking. You know about where to go look that back up, reread that, reconnect with that, right? And by the way, thanks for those of you that have been buying Christmas presents for stocking stuffers. You guys have been buying books I've seen, so I'm grateful for that. You guys are amazing. We're going to come back to this at the end, but let's go to the next slide because this was the word. How many of you are familiar with the word oddite?
I am.
Tell me about it. What do you know about it?
Well, I just know that there was a group of people that had an arete assessment.
It's
But
true.
that's about all I know about it.
That's okay. What David did, Professor Porter, and I've interviewed him before and talked to him. I haven't talked to him in a few years since he moved back to the States. But it's this most unbelievable word that the Greek culture would gather around and they would essentially be doing their mastermind. And audite is this term for excellence. And tonight, what I want to do is I want to take you to words you've never thought of. You've never maybe given incredible ability to articulate. Like the ability to articulate arte is pretty amazing if you think about it. And when you look at what David wrote, and I'll send it in the follow-up email because it's probably like a 12 to 15-minute speech, and you read it, you'll see what Aristotle referred to arte as this virtue of using your time, however, vastly different meaning than it has today. And he went into that. And so there it is, February 12th, 2007, my daughter calls me. How do I know that? Because I know she walked out of the gym and called me, and that's what's on the website. I know the day. I know exactly what it meant. Audite. Anybody have any thoughts about your excellence, going where you've never gone, incorporating words you've never used, open and inviting words that you may never use, but they may help you shape a paradigm a little differently? Any thoughts on that word? Anybody else? Years ago, I would end every year, start every year, and I'd gather before all the grandkids started happening. I probably should do it again because it would be really cool. We did a word crossword puzzle. I would just simply go, I would get everybody's word of the year. I would go online and I would plug all the words in. If you guys want to do this for Christmas with your family, absolutely a blast. Everybody gets a word. You hang up the crossword puzzle on the refrigerator or inside one of the cupboards or in the pantry or something where the family sees it. And you can really take your wordsmithing to a new level. You can do it with your teams. You can really be proactive to engage your teams in words. So let's go to the next slide and look at the blueprint, right? And this is going to be fun because most of you know that 2009 maybe is when I learned the word genshai, 2010, 11. And when Kevin Hall lived just, a couple miles from me, and he'd sit here in my office when I had a couch over here, and we'd talk about words and authors and speakers and his book he was writing. And I just was so fascinated by the idea of words. How many of you would say that genshai is a word you've thought about in your recent history? You can take the slides down for just a moment. Let's see if we can have any dialogue on this. Anybody thought about genshai? Okay, Q, when you think about it, what do you, because you're very close to Kevin over the years. You've been to his classes, and what do you think about when you think about genshai?
For me, it's never treating anybody small, including yourself.
Yeah.
So I just moved my office from one part of the house to the other, so I don't have my coin here. I do have my I am coin, by the way. But I usually have my I am coin and my genshai coin right there.
Nice. Yeah.
But to me, I can't treat myself small.
Mm.
And I'm really working on not doing that.
Yeah. Quite heavenly. Who here, by show of hands or in chat, does not have a copy of Aspire by Kevin Hall? I just think that the story of the word alone is worth your investment. And it is just one of those unique, it's called the secret word in the book. And I know a lot of you have been very close to Kevin on the screen, and you've read the book, seen him speak, been a part of things. And so I put that as number one because I don't know that there's a higher valued word that we could all have top of mind when we think about ourselves. And it's that old adage, right? That 80% of our, or 80,000 of those words every day repeat. Most of them are negative. How do we shift the gen shy? How do we get a little richer in our arete excellence, treating ourselves? I put Ubuntu as the second word there. Is that on the slide? I don't remember.
Come on up. Yeah,
Yes.
it's here.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. And I just remember when I did that podcast, and I remember I was interviewing when I was doing the Greatest Salesman podcast, and my friend Thomas Kogler from Austria comes on, and he talked about this mantra for their organization, their team. And he gave it an analogy when somebody was looking to get some food. They were at a lunch break, but the word that they used as a rallying cry, if you will, within their organization, which generated over $5.5 million in sales last month, I think. Just a little team in Austria. And I think somebody made a comment about not wanting to share some of their lunch or something. And I think somebody chimed in and said, well, that's not very Ubuntu of you, right? So can anyone use Ubuntu in a sentence for me? I've seen football coaches wear the shirt. I've seen videos about it.
Ubuntu really could just even be a hello.
Ubuntu. Love that. My favorite place for Ubuntu is responding to a compliment. And I think that most of us could do better in the world, not just this group, but the world could do better, I think, by raising the standard of accepting a compliment. Boy, Shar, you just look beautiful tonight.
Ubuntu.
There you go, right? Carrie, you just got a beautiful bride sitting next to you.
She says Ubuntu.
The compliment was to you, Carrie. You're supposed to take the compliment.
Yeah.
I'll let Char
Ubuntu.
chime in on. I'll let Char and Carrie and Tanya talk this one out later. Anybody else want to give it a shot? Where would you use Ubuntu? Entrepreneurs, you got called up at Toastmasters to teach us a new word. What are you going to say?
I'm going to say Xenodokial.
Okay. You got 30 seconds to teach us about Xenodokial.
Xenodokial means that you are friendly towards strangers. Those people you don't know. That word to several people. I can even smell it, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever heard of it.
It's a great word. We did it in the affirmation game. I can't remember if it was masterclass 1 when we played the affirmation game, but we've talked about it, and it's a powerful thing because when you're doing that meditation and you're going through the alphabet affirmation game and you get to X, right? You can take liberty. I think Gary DeRitter might have said I'm excited or something. I can't remember exactly, but xenodokial is one of those great words, right? And it's a great word because it's an empowering word for you. My son-in-law called me yesterday. I got to tell you guys this story. Son-in-law is just never thought in a million years that I would work with my son-in-law. And this is a foot and ankle surgeon. And so he's using this device, and I won't get too far into the weeds here. He uses lots of devices in his office. He uses what he calls shockwave. He uses, he's got this couple of other, I can't remember the name of these devices, but he uses this thing called a prism that measures antioxidants. And so he called me yesterday, and he's walking home and he's picking up his vegetables at the supermarket. And the guy in front of him has a cart of fruit and vegetables. And my son-in-law exhibited his xenodocality, if that's a word. And he said to the guy, wow, what's amazing is how rare it would be for two people in a row to have carts full of healthy foods. And he said to the man, I could measure those in my office if I could help you. Come on in and I'll give you a free scan. The guy said, I'm all over that, of course. So no matter whether you're in real estate, whether you're a speaker, it's always about words that tell a story, that paint a picture. And heliotropic is one of my very favorites. It's because all living organisms tend to grow in the direction you shine. So let's shine together, incorporating arete, excellence in our life, going where we've never gone, wordsmithing to be the best we ever can, not minimizing anything, following the Bruce Lee prompt, right? We never want to talk negatively because our body doesn't know the difference. You know, if words can do that, and I don't know why this is sitting right here on my tail, but if the molecule of more, think about the person that deals with sugar addiction, right? You'd think about the person that deals with negativity. The molecule of more is happening. And what they're saying right here is how a single chemical in your brain drives love, sex, creativity, and will determine the fate of the human race. So I think what's exciting for me and what should be exciting for you is the blueprint for lifting our words. I've done yoga for years and I'm a namaste guy. But Kevin tilted namaste for me a little bit, and that is to salute, right, and honor the divine within me. Anybody comment on any of these words right now if you have a thought? You can take the slide down if you want, Shar. 4 pretty powerful words. Any of these words new to you? Yeah? Okay. I see a head nod.
The sisu.
Which one?
Me. The last one, the sisu.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll go there. Any of the Genshai, Ubuntu, heliotropic, namaste new to you? The origin, the root, the meaning?
Hey, Dan, I'd like to share something about Ubuntu.
Please.
A friend of mine who invited me to a grand opening of a business, local business. I go there, and they had a caterer, and I'm going through, dishing up food, and at the end I see this business card, and the company's name is Ubuntu, and the owners are from one of the countries in South Africa.
Oh,
Africa.
Wow. Nice. There you go.
There's pretty cool.
There's a salon and spa in Toronto near where Julie lives. Dan, you know Julie?
Yeah.
And their spa name is called Ubuntu. I took a picture of it and sent it to you one time.
Yeah. Excellent. And I remember being in Dana Point years ago, businesses on one side, ocean on the other, and there was a gym, and the gym was called Arete. And I had to go in and take a picture of that. So for sure, we got to geek out on these things and appreciate them and try to go a little bit deeper. Anybody else? Don't be bashful. Don't be bashful. Words create worlds. Here's what I did with the balance of the words. I tried to mix in some that I never was familiar with. And I'm always searching and looking at iterations and etymologies. So I thought I would include one that was in my first book that I learned from Sterling W. Sill. And that is, if you're looking at your newsletter, you'll see it, sapere vedere, knowing how to see. I put that book out in 2007. And so we can tie that into last month, and we look at the newsletter with respect to our vision and appreciating the vision, right? So when we think about sisu, courage that feels like quiet fire. Whoa. How are you feeling when you're at the supermarket and someone is next to you that you think might, hey, that's the perfect person that could buy life insurance for me, buy a house for me, buy whatever my products are that I sell from me, right? Do you have the courage that feels like a quiet fire? Like right now, I have this quiet confidence about all of us raising our floor, filtering for higher quality words, really trying to. My favorite football coach in the world, his name is Mike McDonald for the Seattle Seahawks, who are playing right now. I'm going to go watch it later tonight. But they call it chasing edges. And so I'm always looking to chase edges. And so next month's newsletter, oh man, I am like geeked out on next month's newsletter because it's going to specifically impact every area of your life. And it's just like the most important thing in the world to kick off your year with. And so when I looked at some of these words, I just thought, interesting. How about this Spanish word, sobremesa, right? A delicious time after a meal when conversation becomes the dessert. How do we cherish that today versus 10, 20, 30, 40 pre-cell phone, pre-email, right? All the stuff, right? So I tried to just open the mind's eye, if you will, and let you search. And we can go to the next slide because I think we have another bank of words. But let you search and write. I got notes all over my newsletter. I hope you do. There we are. I don't know. Has anybody got a Spanish background that could tell us how you'd say that? Sober Mesa? Living in Mesa, Arizona, Deanne. Maybe I'm close.
My mom always told me I should have learned Spanish.
We got the Italian word. We got Danish, Japanese. What's the ikigai is the famous Japanese teaching word for self-help. This one is kintsugi, right? Repairing broken things with gold, beauty born from damage. I mean, relationships, right? Last night I'm with my friend Xander that's in my book on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. He joins us and we celebrate his 13 years of sobriety. And he went where he never went before, at least to his own memory, about talking about the journey and just saying, wow, no one would have thought that I could even be alive 13 years later and have thriving businesses and friends and leading AA and ARP groups, right? So, all right, I just want to touch on one more because I think it's such a cool word. That bottom one there. Who wants to read that one for us? Who thinks they can read the bottom dot there, the Greek word?
Meraki.
Give it a shot, somebody.
I think it says Meraki.
Yes.
I was really attracted to that one. And I think the reason I was attracted to that is because in Og Mandino's book, when we greet this day with love in our heart, to look at somebody with Meraki, right? If we were to say like Meraki, when we're, in the marketplace or working with new people, and even before we send that email or a message or whatever, if we were to say Meraki ahead of time in our brain or in our head or out loud, that I think I like that word. I like that word a lot. I never heard of it.
I will greet this day with love in my heart. I will greet this day with Meraki in my heart. Yeah, I like that. That fits beautifully. Love that. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, let's go a little deeper in the next slide.
Sorry.
This is good. There's a few of you that have lit up on this word, the Hebrew word hesed. Hesed. Anybody have a Hebrew background? Anybody familiar with this word in any depth? My research a few years back on this word was pretty cool. Matter of fact, if I haven't showed you this book, I got to grab it. I got so many books. Too many. So I was on this journey. I have so many word books. So this is a word book that I just geek out. Have I ever shared this book before?
I've seen it.
52 Hebrew words every Christian should know. And then when it comes to words, I got this arete word, but this is a book right here with 2,000 pages of where words were first used. Have I showed this book before? This was my book that I discovered on Stephen Covey's shelf. And I said, Stephen, do you use this? And he said, every day, right? We talk about that in the newsletter. So fascinating, right? But when it got to this book and I see the word hesed, right? How do we get a little deeper in our loving kindness to ourselves? And so we look at this genshai, we look at hesed, we look at these words, we look at the molecules of frozen water, we look at all these things, and what does it come back to? What is the world trying to teach us about this level of gratitude, this ability to love ourselves, this ability to shine on other people's lives? You know, one of the greatest books ever was a little book by a great Christian pastor, Midwest maybe, and it was called The Prayer of Jabez. And in the book of Jabez, in the book of Kings, maybe it's not Kings. Anyway, there's just one or two verses, right, where he prayed. The prayer of Jabez is simply to pray each and every day that I can go out and expand my boundaries, expand my coasts in some translations. And I like that a lot when I think about loving kindness, this depth of a covenant, this steadfast of love that's giving long after the feeling fades. Can you think of anybody in your life that's ever shared or shown up at this level of kindness for you?
Jesus.
Ooh, wow. I wasn't thinking that, but that would be the one.
Yeah.
That would be the one. Deep.
Dan.
Please, Q.
So you have down there on under Hassad is the love that cannot be earned and cannot be lost. And as I read that, and even just when I was rereading it again right now, and going back to scroll two and switching, I greet this day with love in my heart, right?
Yeah.
The word that came in place of love for me is grace.
Mm.
I've over the last couple of months, as you know, as I talked about getting shy and not treating myself small, I've come to realize that I am worthy of grace
Mm.
from my Savior. And more importantly, I need to give myself grace. So the grace that cannot be earned and cannot be lost, no matter how small I think I am, my Savior, my Father, my Heavenly Father will not abandon me. And for the grace of God, here I go. Or however that, I think I butchered a little bit, but you got the point.
It's beautiful.
So that was probably one of the most powerful things right now. Just I am grace.
It's interesting that you highlighted that. I took my red pen and circled the line before that. It is the love that does not let go. And it's just this reminder for all of us, this accountability for all of us to lift our love, the law of lift of our own love and appreciation. And I can be way better for me. I can show up better for my wife, my kids. We got a brilliant phone call the other night. It was just so amazing. My daughter was just same daughter that turned me on to the Audite message, Crystal. She was just having a stressor moment. No, more than a moment. It was like a heavy, heavy mistake she made signing up on her insurance form because she checked a box when she was thinking that it was a monthly payment. And it was a bi-monthly payment. And she's like, Dad, there's no way I can afford to pay that twice a month. I was thinking a month I could pay that. And she was just praying and doing everything she could. And she told the story to her daughter, Jaden, that everything is going to work out okay today, Jaden. I can't remember. She was getting ready for school. And she called in such glee about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. She said, Dad, I just had to tell you this. I used an affirmation this morning that everything was going to be okay. Just like I talked about in your book, Dad, about all the things that happened when I was going through my Susac disease. I buried myself in these affirmations. I protected myself from any outside negativity. And I want to ask us all to do that. I want us to step a little higher because what I'm finding in social media is really vile words are showing up in my feeds, and I'm just like nuking the people. The minute it happens on anybody that follows me or does it, I just go delete them. We don't have time to be around the negativity. If I remember a Gary DeRitter story, there was something, Gary, you told me years ago when something happened to somebody's business in San Diego named Ashley, that this was the time when she had to be so on her game. There was no way she was going to turn on the television and watch the news. Did I recall that story correctly?
I don't see Gary.
Oh, he was here. Okay. I'm not looking at the whole screen. But you guys get the
I
story.
don't know the story.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next slide because Covey teaches the opposites. He really wants us to think about the opposites. What's the number one word in scripture, in life, in your world? The number one opposite of all the good we've been stacking here for the last 35 minutes or so.
Fear.
It's fear. It's referenced hundreds of times. And yet, there's two ways that I found it in the New Testament that I like, and that is fear not, only believe. And then there's fear not, believe only. And if you look at the origin of belief, I think the origin of that is love. So we want to only love, fear not, only love, only believe, only have gratitude.
And the opposite of love is fear, Dan.
Yeah.
So it all works out.
Let's go full screen for a minute and let's just invite anybody that can comment on anything said here tonight so far. What's resonated with you about this? How can you filter for higher? Mastermind friends.
I think is just the emphasis on words. It's powerful. To be honest, the whole this half an hour about the words like making me falling asleep because they are all Greek to me. They are I have no idea what they are, and I have no idea what I'm gonna use it at all. So but at the end, the fear not, it's catch my attention.
There you
Only
go.
believe. And
Only
again,
believe.
is the word. And I like what you said. Any negativity, we have no time. And you know what? You did it so perfectly, said it perfectly, is delete.
Yep. Delete.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes the mind negotiate with the bad people and then you dwell on it. And then I bring back myself and say, okay, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't give it a time of day. But you go a step further, you delete them.
Yep.
I thought that was beautiful.
Absolutely right. I used to call it a friendectomy. And sometimes you just have to delete, you can't do it. It's not worth your time. If we want arete in our lives, we have to circle and surround and lift and filter and go where we've never gone because 2026 can be the best year of your life. It'll be the best year of millions of people's lives. They're going to have incredible successes. You're going to see innovations. You're going to see people that are doing unbelievable things, and they're going to be just changing their world because they figured out how to lift, filter, sift for the greatest ideas, inventions, attitudes, and words create worlds. So hopefully that is. Anybody else want to chime in? I love Stella saying, hey, I'm putting her into a trance here, putting her into a coma with some of these words, if you will.
So
Anybody?
Dan, Gary did join. He's not on camera, but
oh, Gary. Yeah, Gary, I was telling a story about a couple of years ago when there was a lady in San Diego named Ashley that we know, and there was this point in time when we were talking, Gary, and you made the comment, if I recall, that she did everything to eliminate the negativity. The business was too important. There was no time for news. There was nothing in her life about negativity, and I just didn't know if you recall that, but I thought I heard it from you.
Well, certainly I saw that with Ashley. And then there's a gal who lives in Utah by the name of Alyssa Jackson. And Alyssa is another one. She called me one day and she's not directly associated with my team, but we were associated in a leadership group. And she said, I have to be really, really careful. I have to have blinders on at all times. And, we're putting an hour each week into this group, and there's some negativity there. And I'm not sure if I can afford that. And so we had a conversation about it, and and figured out how we could move forward, that she could remain part of the group because she was gaining a lot of value and benefit from it and contributing quite a bit to it. But she was so cautious. She said, in the course of my day, I can't spend any time with negative thoughts and things, and I just have to constantly have blinders on. And I was so impressed. This was she's a young lady, and there was just a certain amount of insight there that I didn't realize. And it was a lesson for me. How many times do I accept things?
Yeah.
Dan, you'll laugh at this, but I go back, you and I have known each other and have been in business together for decades. And decades ago, I recall a conversation, and I got negative in the conversation, and immediately you said something like, "Hey, I got to go." It was like, I got a call coming or something. And about the third time that occurred, I realized you always had a call coming whenever I got negative. So, there's just something about protect your mind and do it in such a way that, I didn't take offense. It's just like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I really appreciate you saying that, because I actually have been criticized by some people for doing that. And I just have my own mechanisms for what I have to do, right? I mean, I have to start my day with, I will greet this day with love in my heart. And I am nature's greatest miracle. I have to start my day like knowing that it's not a joke. Like, neurogenesis is not a joke. My brain is waiting to be fed the words so that I can go out there and create and be at my very best. And I think that right now, this December 18th, I need to be at my best. I can be better. I am becoming better. How many of you on this call tonight feel like you can sift and filter for higher? Is there anybody else that wants to chime in to what Gary just added to in terms of this? What have we added here besides putting Stella to sleep?
So I actually was in a Bob Proctor book yesterday, and the word better he said, I love that word better, it's beautiful. And so I actually expanded on that a little bit. And the one of the reasons why it could be that it's such a beautiful word is because better is attainable, and it bypasses resistance. And I think that it implies growth without judgment. So yeah, you can just be better, right? So 1% better every day.
Oh,
that
that's
type
great.
of thing. So yeah, it was.
I'm going to build on that. I'm going to have you put the next slide up, and I'm going to come back to your comment. I just thought of this right now. Let's go ahead and put the next slide up. And that is my word that world change. When I saw I am nature's greatest miracle, I read those words, but then I am comes out of nowhere for me, and now it dominates my life. Those two most powerful words, those affirmations, because I know what follows I am is going to follow me. And it might be a little bit like VJ saying, sometimes I'm just digging out of the dirt. Sometimes I'm just swinging, and hours and days and weeks and months and years go by before, bam, there's that next breakthrough of the plateau. And I am becoming better. I wonder if anybody wants to just chime in and say, what are you going to be better at? Don't be bashful. Come on.
I'm going to be better at responding and not reacting.
Love that.
I'm going to be better at finishing.
Love that.
I am a finisher.
So good. Somebody that hasn't mentioned anything yet tonight, go ahead. Even if you're not on screen, just take it off mute and just say something. Maybe you're writing in your newsletter.
Hey, Ken. It's Drew.
Drew, love you, brother.
I don't have a voice, but I am working to have a higher frequency in my life.
Yeah. It's hard for Drew to talk to you guys. He's had a stroke this year and he's learning and he's back at it and he's really taking good care of himself. And that was a lot of energy that he just put forth right there. Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the journey and Merry Christmas.
Love you, buddy. Thanks.
I am. Who remembers the affirmation game? I'm gonna go full screen here. I want to see if anyone can raise your hand if you've used the affirmation game in your own silence since you learned it. Stella's nodding. Carol's nodding. Does anybody not know what the affirmation game is? A to Z. You're laying there in that massage chair. You're laying there in that meditation center, that yoga class, and I am abundant, blessed, Christ-like. All eight, right through the alphabet. I play it all the time. Whenever the mind is messed up, I just play the alphabet affirmation game. I think you'll find you can shift frequency quite quickly. And we know that frequency leads to flow. And that's a really, really important thing for all of us. I think we have to be more vigilant than any time in the history of the world because of the nature of the negativity that the world is trying to beat us down with.
Before I go to sleep, or as I'm laying there going to sleep, I start saying affirmations like I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I am capable, and I just say a whole bunch of them. So I go to sleep more positive, not that I really go to sleep negative, but just so that I, maybe that will influence my night's rest, my dreams, whatever.
You're programming it. Yeah. You're programming it. Got it right in there. Anybody else? Let's go to the next slide.
Dan, I was just going to say, I do it in the middle of the night if I wake up and cannot fall back to sleep.
That's great. And I'm with you. I'm with you. I am. I'll turn on the affirmation, I am worthy or whatever, just for a few minutes to get the mind reworking there. So very popular thing about your word. Is there a word that you can start pre-programming the mind for 2026? We don't want to wait and let it happen to us, right? We want to be able to say that we were ready for it. We were programming the mind's eye to be alert and aware for what we're going to attract, the law of attraction. We are going to become whatever it is we make. It's our identity. Like in some circles, as I said before, some people would say, oh, Dan McCormick, he's a golfer. Other people would say, well, he's done public speaking or network marketing or writing a book. But, what is your identity? Can that word create a world for you? Some people would say, I'm a networker. I go to BNI. I speak at Toastmasters. I jump on podcasts. I'm always willing to jump on any podcast and talk about the power of affirmations. Because Hal said it. It's the most misunderstood aspect of all of self-help. So if it's the most underutilized, so why don't we go all in on that? What is your word for 2026? Is anyone pondering that? Thinking about it? Does anybody have one?
I do.
Oh, good. Great. Spiel it out. Put it out if you want to. Put it out there. What are we talking about?
I am heliotropic.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits right into not playing small, living into my purpose. I must shine so that others can shine.
Oh, man.
Ubuntu. Oh, look at that. Heliotropic with Ubuntu.
There you go.
In abundance. Oh, look at me go.
You got a lot of words, Q. I love it. Deanne, were you going to say one?
Yeah, I actually have mine written down and I read it every day. So my word for next year is thriving. I am thriving, meaning that I am experiencing vitality, growth, purpose, feeling energized. I am resilient and connected while developing the emotional, social, and personal areas of my life to align my actions with my values to flourish in a meaningful life.
Woo. In a nutshell, Deanne, you just wrote your own future self letter.
Mhm.
Ooh, I've been working on that forever. So good.
You
Good, I
just
finally did it.
but that's okay. If Covey were here today and he was teaching us a lesson about how we write our personal mission statement, it's okay. Take time, craft it, right? 25 words ish, right? 50 words ish. Craft it. Keep it going. Char, let's go full screen. Let's see if there's anybody else here that has given some thought to it, that has done it before. Who's done it before? Had a word of the year? Had a word of the year, anybody? Okay. Anybody else thinking about 2026? What's going to be your identity? How you're going to be different? How you're going to search for, filter, go higher quality?
Thinking mastering,
Master.
become a master at the few things that I've been chipping away at, but if I could become masterful in those areas, then, you're really unstoppable, right?
Mm-hmm. Somebody else, I think I saw a hand. Go ahead, Roz.
I mentioned it earlier, but my word without a doubt is I am limitless. And after I read the newsletter today, I literally sat there and was just thinking about all the things that I want to create. And I was just trying to think, what's a word that encompasses all of that? And I think limitless says it all.
So true. I mean, you're just as worthy, deserving, and capable as anyone else on the planet to achieve, accomplish, lift, serve, love. Why would you be any different than anyone else? And I'm thrilled that you did that, because I'm looking at our clock here and we're down to the last few minutes. And I'm also looking at page on the newsletter. I just had so much fun with this, searching out every possible quote that I could find that fit the newsletter, that fit the space. And that it's at the bottom of that page number, which I don't know why I don't have a page number on that, but it's near the end where it says the quotes that shake us and awake us. And, we've got some powerful quotes there about words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. So there's Kipling, if you will. Anybody else before we wrap it up? We have one more slide. Let's go there.
Dan, I think this is the best newsletter ever.
I want to just say that what you just said there met you where you were. And I would say, because I talk to a lot of you, text with a lot of you, get texts, and some people say, "Hey, I haven't opened it yet, but I got it." Or and all I say when you haven't opened it yet, all I say is, "Words create worlds," and it's your world. It's your time. And Q, to your point, I am a finisher. This is us right here to put it to place, to get this clarity of I am becoming. If you weren't the best finisher in 2025, you could say I am becoming a finisher. If that helps you. I mean, Dave Blanchard gave us that insight months ago on the masterclass that we did before we had the published newsletter. And he just really felt good when dealing with people that really had a tough time with feeling like they were telling themselves the truth. And my wife and we just use this all the time around the house. I am a finisher. I do, when it comes to household stuff, historically, I have to do everything. And it's so easy now for my wife to see, something that I started that I didn't finish and say, I am a finisher, honey. I am a finisher. Let's do it. Who wants to give us one thing you finished in 2025 that you're excited about? What did you finish? A book? A trip?
I'll say I had finished cleaning up my office.
And how does that feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, because of the injury I had, the clutter just kept building up and I couldn't do anything about it. And I think the one thing that, well, one thing, there's many things, but I really see I've become a finisher.
Yes.
All of this, like, and it's in the small things, you know, even if I have to cut what I'm going to do in a day, cut it in half or cut it in half again, I finish whatever it is. And I will say the word for next year that keeps coming to me is freedom.
Oh my, Trish, that's heavenly.
And just being free from procrastination, free from the negative thoughts that come into my head. You know, they may come in, but they don't stay. Or the negative thoughts of other people. Even
What
though
a good track you're on, Trish.
I can't walk so fast, but I can still walk away and just give myself the space that I need. So that's the word for me next year.
Whew. Just heavenly. Anybody else?
Dan?
Matthew, I'm coming to you after the next slide, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. We have a special visitor here tonight. Let's go to the next slide. I just loved it. I had to put it in here. I don't know where I saw it, felt it, but I wrote it down and then I changed it and thought about it and I go, oh, no, wait, sounds great. Your mind is the soil. This is the 18 minutes. This is the 1%. This is that programming, that neurogenesis, right? Your words are the seeds and your life is the harvest. So 2026 is going to be the mirror. It's going to be the reflection of your identity. We're preparing right now. Do you feel like this hour you invested is helping you prepare for Oddite of 2026?
Yeah. Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
When we go back, I was looking for this when you said I'm a finisher. If anybody can see this. This is my first marathon back in 1980.
Wow.
And I was dehydrated. I was hungry. I was tired. I was sore, but I thought, I'm a finisher. I've got to finish this. And I did about an hour later than I planned on, but I nonetheless finished. Long time ago. That was first of several, but you can see that if you can see my facial expression, I was just about spent.
Ooh. I've been at the finish line for those incredible events. It's crazy to see what people do in these Ironmans.
That was just a marathon, no Ironman.
Don't minimize how great your accomplishment is.
Okay.
I love you, brother. Okay, anybody else? And then we're gonna have Matthew chime in, and I got the final announcement for January. Have we been well fed?
Absolutely.
Have we been uplifted?
Absolutely.
Are we better off because we spent an hour here instead of there?
Yes.
Instead of watching a football game or something like that.
Nah, who would ever do that? Okay. I just love the idea of helping people find flow. And Matthew and I were texting today, and I just thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if you came on tonight? So, Matthew, how did it feel? Because you're a coach, you're a friend. We golfed together in South Carolina, one of the best rounds of my life. I got a witness right here, everybody.
Yes. For sure. It felt good. I haven't done this in a long time.
Tell them what you do. This is amazing.
So I'm a poet. I write poetry, but I got into a time, really started out of the pandemic, where I would write live and I would wrap things up at the end of someone's presentation, of a meeting, those sorts of things. And it took me a good 15 minutes at least tonight to even begin to get into the flow. My one disclaimer I always give before I read one of these is that I don't have time to proofread it. So once in a while I find I rhyme the same word with itself or something like that. But anyway, we'll see where it goes.
Here we go, people. Pure,
all right.
Pure gold.
We hope. Words create worlds year after year. What made you decide to be here? Was there a nudge or a whisper inside? Were you just off of your indoor bike ride? So many people want this year behind, but capture the moment. But capture the moment. There is more we can find. Appreciate the moment. Lean into it here. Let's finish strong before the new year. The blueprint for raising our worlds even higher includes a word that feels like quiet fire. It also includes words in Sanskrit and Greek and others to help elevate every week. Genshai, Ubuntu, and of course Namaste, Kintsugi, Sobremesa, Saper Vedere, I can't speak. The list goes on and each word worth exploring. There is not one that you will find boring. Let's greet this day with love in our hearts, or maybe Meraki through all body parts. Jesus showed up to show us all kindness. He brought great sight to what once was blindness. But for the grace of God, there I go. The grace of Christ is the star of the show. Even at times when we check the wrong box, if we believe, he'll knock off our socks. Cubby wants us to remember the fear, so we can fear not and believe all the year. When negative folks want their words to lead, don't hesitate to kick them off your feed. Just like the blinders they put on a horse, block out the negative to stay on your course. You may have to take a call that's not real to end conversations that affect how you feel. What follows I am will then follow you. Make it a game. Use the alphabet too. Because of the way the world is today, be vigilant of the things that you say. Now find your word for the new year ahead, one word to think before you go to bed. And then the next morning, yes, even then, say your new word again and again. Words can create beauty or pain, so be careful which words you think in your brain. Words can take and words can give. Words create worlds in which we will live. Now off to the race that all of us run, but forget the rats and instead have some fun. Focus your eyes on where you want to be, and soon a finisher is what you will be. Your mind is the soil, your words are the seeds. Nurture the soil and pull out the weeds. Then you will harvest the fruits in the end, and it will yield success for you, my friend.
Whoa. Wow. That was amazing.
And he says he's out of practice, people. Who wants to comment on Matthew's contribution
Wow.
here?
Amazing.
I would love to have a copy of that.
That was amazing.
That was completely amazing.
I want your notes.
Right?
I'm happy to send them off to Dan, and he can get them to you.
That's amazing.
Well, we send out the
Thank you.
replay.
That
so
would be
people-
awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
That's
Why
like
don't we, if you
Chat
send them to
GP.
me, Matthew, then we'll put them in the email that goes out to those that didn't join, that are subscribers, if you will. So that'll be awesome.
Chat GP Matthew.
In real time. Exactly.
I would like a recording of it as well.
Well, you got it. You'll get this in the follow-up email.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Oh, you guys are just so much fun. It's just so great to be with you, to, mastermind with you. And, look, Jim Rohn said it best, right? Ideas can be life-changing. You only need one. Is there one idea? Is there one thought? Roz, I can't thank you enough. I can't tell you how much that means to me, coming from you, someone that's so well read, that guards your time on where you're going to spend it, because pickleball is awaiting, okay? And to be in that space and say, wow, this is the newsletter that captured it for me. I could go on and on for hours. I love you and I'm grateful, but let's just go to the last slide here, because January 3rd, we're going to kick off the year at 7 a.m. Now, I get it. That's, maybe not the day. Don't I have a slide for January? Oh, there. Do I have a January 3rd slide?
Oh, there you
it is. Okay. All right. So this is going to be one where we open it up to everybody. Like, I'll promote it on all sources. It's free. It's just an hour long. It's kicking off your year. It's readying. Maybe if Matthew's available, we'll have him come back and do something like this again. That was so much fun. And we'll just kick off the year, and hopefully more people will choose to join the email list, because you are not going to want to miss the January newsletter, because it will. If you apply the January newsletter, you will have your highest level of effectiveness in any financial endeavor you've ever attempted to do. And that's my confidence, because I've already written it and I've been massaging it and thinking about it and honing it in. And I don't even know how I'm going to get it to 20 pages, just because it's so critically important because there's so many entrepreneurs on the screen that want 2026 to come alive. And what tonight did for me is say 2025 is not over. We can still squeeze more out of that lemon tree that I got in my backyard. And then our next masterclass, I think we had a slide on that too, didn't we, Shar?
Right there.
The subscribers, is it January 18th, was it?
22nd.
22nd.
Oh, there it is right there. Thank you. I was looking at my other screen. 22nd. So mark your calendars. Are we finding that this Thursday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time is working out okay, everybody? You're here.
Yes.
We okay with this? Good, good, good. We can go full screen, Shar. And let me just say thank you to everybody. God bless. If you want to say any comments in chat or say anything else to Matthew, anybody else want to chime in as we go, I'll wait about another 1 minute, 90 seconds. And otherwise, go out and have a beautiful Thursday evening. And if that didn't meet you where you're at, perhaps you just reread it in a quiet place and really ask if your mind can get quiet and say, how can words create worlds? Because I am becoming a bigger part of utilizing the greatest words that I can filter for. Thank you for sharing your words, everybody. God bless. Good night. Thank you so much. Newsletter number 4707 is in the books. Bye for now.